We live, baby.
Yo, yo, yo.
We live, baby.
What it do? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Episode number
What it do,
4. Wrong
guys?
time, right place. E Money, Big Rock on the mic. 10 Honey Badgers, appreciate you on the follow. Getting me to 100 followers. Let's get the 100 follower hype in here.
We
Bubby Charming,
live,
appreciate the follow
baby.
for the 101st follower. Appreciate that. This is going to be a big show. As you know, it's election season. And you know what it is. Me, E Money, my man Big Rocker. What you got to say?
What it do, y'all? I know we talk about what's on everybody's mind, the election. We about to give it to you straight, and I'm excited to dive in and to hear what everyone else thinks about what's going on. So
Yeah,
let's get to it.
let's do a quick little recap. Last episode. Go ahead, tell them what we talked about.
Last episode we talked about adulting and how adulting is challenging. A lot of us, in that same age group, that 16 to 25 mid-adult area. Some of us a little older, not, but basically just talking about the trials and tribulations of growing up. We had a really good conversation, some really good feedback in the comments too from all people offering perspective. So check it out, episode 3 on YouTube now. Then what do we talk about before that, Idris?
Right, right. We talked about adulting and life is hard. I just plugged that YouTube right there. That's the channel. You can catch all of our videos right there in that link. Episode before that, we talked about voting, why it's important, and that leads us to where we are today. You know, as we know, we're 4 days off of, we're 4 days into the election process, and we pretty much know who's won at this point. And for me and Charles, we've been friends for a long time, and we've held up a lot of things for 4 years. First and foremost, we want to say we appreciate everybody who's in here. If you're not in the Discord, make sure to go ahead and join. I'll link that in there right now. If you guys want to be part of our discussions, please take part in that chat. And in our Discord too, we got some great things for you to participate in as well. If you want us to react to certain videos, if you find anything that's interesting to you that you really want us to talk about, just drop it in there so we can go ahead and do so. Um, and yeah, like I said, 4 years down the line, we are. I'm just gonna go ahead and say my man Joe Biden's the winner. He's won the damn thing.
You calling it already?
I'm calling it. It's done for.
And it's a wrap. Get him out of here. But Trump, see, we're gonna call it, but is Trump gonna call it?
Is Trump gonna call it? Who knows? Who knows whether he's gonna call it or not? I won't go into grilling him just yet. Okay, we're gonna save that for a little bit later. We're gonna grill him a little bit later.
Nah, it's been a crazy 4 years though. I remember how we felt when he was first elected. Till now, we've come a long way. I want to say though, I am very proud of America as a country for going out and just putting up record numbers in voting. People going out and making their voices heard. I think a lot of people have been affected during this pandemic during 2020. So everybody going out there and making their vote count, that was good to see. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, I do appreciate that as well, especially for the people our age. Our age group, I think, really showed out, and I think that really made a difference. I've had many conversations with many people who don't feel like voting's important or don't feel like their vote counts for anything. And as we can see this year, the biggest kind of showing of that your vote does matter. You may feel that it doesn't, but it's a big part. And me personally, I didn't give him any excuses. I voted in person. I voted early. I knew Donald Trump was going to come out with these excuses and stuff, and I wanted to give him no part. So I did my due diligence. I wanted to make sure that there was no chance of my vote not getting counted or weighing against me, whatever. You know, and I appreciate you bringing up that we've been feeling some type of way for the last 4 years. Do you want to go in on that? I think we should start there.
Well, I can only speak for myself, and no disrespect to anybody that support Trump. For me personally, it was a big blow for me when he was elected. Not because of Republican, not because of Democrat. I could really care less about either of that. just about to me what he represents and seeing him get elected, it kind of showed me like that hate and a lack of humanity was starting to win in this country. And yeah, it was very. I remember going to school the next day. Our professor gave all the students a chance to like speak, and a lot of people were brought to tears. I personally felt like hopelessness about the country. I was like, this is where we're headed. Um, no, nobody really cares about one another. There's no camaraderie, and I think that's what to me that's what Trump represents: divisiveness, togetherness. So yeah, man, seeing him, it's been. I'm very happy that fascism and hate didn't win this election. That we're gonna see him get out of here.
Yeah, 4 years ago, it wasn't the best time for me. I remember me and you specifically had a phone call that day, and that day was tough because you remember people were saying, "Oh, Donald Trump is just a joke. There's no chance he's gonna be elected. It's just a joke," and he was standing for everything that like I just hate to see. It really just makes me sad. And even though he did become president and I did feel some type of way, I never had ill wishes to him. I still want him to be successful because I still live in this country. Of course, I want success. I don't want to just live in a quote unquote shithole. Part of my language, but you know, and I'll kind of go into what Cody Slat was saying. He asked, "Why did I vote for Biden?" And I did vote for Biden. And the reason why is because one, well, there's a number of reasons. Well, he believes in science, of course. I think that's very important. You got to be backed by some science. But the main thing in what I see differentiating him from Donald Trump is the fact that he is like a unifying power. You know, um, when I see Donald Trump and the kind of people that he brings out, yes, it's kind of good because he's exposing them, but he kind of gives them an attitude that it is okay to act that way. And when you're a minority in this country, I don't think that that's okay. You know, um, minorities are people that stick together and need to raise each other up. And when you feel that you're unwanted in an area or you're pressured to act a certain way, you guys don't belong. Speak English, whatever stuff like that. That's just not the kind of stuff that I want to hear from my leader. I want somebody with some grace and above all else to unify the country. That's one of the big things for me.
And Biden himself has said many times during his campaign, I'm not gonna sit here and act like if I was Biden would be my first choice, and I love Biden, but when it comes down to Biden versus Trump, Biden has on the record said he wants to, he wants to do what's best for all Americans, not just those that agree with him, and that's the difference to me. Trump, he only cares about those that think like he does, and if you don't think like he doesn't want to help you. He doesn't care, and he's already and he's in that. That's when the divide in America became so clear when Trump started becoming running for presidency during his campaign. His campaign has been about dividing, and for me personally, when I look at leaders, I think great leaders are people who bring others together, and I don't think Trump has shown any example of doing that.
Yeah, I agree completely. You want those kind of things. Let me just read this comment. As an American, of course, you want the president to be successful. I was hoping he'd be better than I thought that night, but he wasn't. And unfortunately, I
Um,
feel that there was a lot of people that felt that way. That's spot on. I think he did as good a job as he can, and I do think that he worked hard. Being the president in any capacity, whether you're a good one or a bad one, you still have to work hard. So we appreciate what he's done, and um, my goal moving forward is to always preach unity, progression, and humanity first. I just want to see the betterment of the American people for a totality. You know, maybe being a Republican, whatever, may be better for you financially, whatever it is. But for me, another big reason is that all in all, to go with Joe Biden would be better for the mass of America in general.
We gotta touch back on Joe Biden and Trump. We can talk about that. I want to know now. We've seen 4 years. Trump's likely going to lose. He's out of here. How do you think the Trump presidency is going to be remembered? Like, you got one term. What do you think you know, how are we going to look back on his presidency? Is it a success? Is it a failure?
I think you're gonna see it exactly the way it happened. As split right down the middle. You're gonna have those people who are gonna be like, "Oh, Trump's America was great." You know, the conservative right is always gonna be that kind of way, and they're gonna remember it as such. And for the latter of us, it's gonna be exactly the way that we remember it in that divisive fashion. That they felt like outsiders, unwelcome, unwanted, and I just felt through these 4 years so like divided, and I honestly feel like that's how people are gonna remember it. That division. What do you think?
All right. And I think it's really interesting when you just think about. I think never before have we had a cult-like following for a president. People blindly follow this man and what he says, and I think that I'm not. I don't think. I know he takes advantages of it, and it's just been crazy. Like you said, it's going to be split down the middle. There's going to be people that really ride and die with this man and support everything he says, factually true or not, and it's crazy. To me, it's like how people follow like a sports star or like a favorite artist. That's how they follow Trump. And I don't think that's been like there's been a president like that before. So ultimately, I think it's just going to be like a look back on history as like a lesson for our country and a lesson for our politics that who we put in office does really matter and what they stand for does matter. It's not a joke because that's what it was when he first ran. Nobody took him seriously. Like, oh, there's Donald Trump, you know, feeding his own ego, doing it for his own vanity. But what ended up happening was people really did believe in that man, right or wrong, and it should have been taken serious 4 years ago. And I think that's going to be the main lesson.
Yeah, I agree. The integrity, these kind of qualities, these are all super important to me. And when I look at Donald Trump in the last 4 years and what he did, I can't help but feel ashamed at times. You know, as an American, even for the last election, I like what you said where you were saying that Joe Biden wasn't particularly your favorite candidate, and neither was mine. I think there are better people, and I felt the same way last election as well. But we as Americans, I think, should honestly be embarrassed. That is embarrassing. That the two best people we could put up were Joe Biden and Donald Trump, or I personally don't think Joe Biden's that bad. But last time we put Hillary and Donald Trump as Americans. These are the top two people we can produce. That is crazy to me, and it's it is something to be ashamed of, and I feel like America's reputation overall has gone down because of it, and his actions and how he's been able to react to things.
Right. And could totally agree. And that's where now, like Cody said, move on and they'll get over their obsession. And some people won't. Some people won't. They're gonna hate. They're gonna hate Democrats. They're gonna. But the main point is we gotta support who's in office, just like how we didn't like Trump 4 years ago. We felt the way we felt. We were really disheartened. We what did we do? What did we say? We said, hey, you know what? What can we do about it now? We can either bitch and moan, cry, or this is what it is. Roll with the punches, give the guy a chance, and see what it happens. And I think that's as far as Biden. That's the way I'm approaching it too. I think Biden is gonna. I don't think he's as bad as Hillary at all. I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people like to make him out to be. Sleepy Joe, Carl. I know that people say he's senile and all that. I don't buy into that. I think he's gonna do a good job, and we'll see. But that's the main thing. We just gotta accept that this is the president and grade him on how he does.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just like you said, and we have to hold him accountable as well. Joe Biden. We're gonna have to hold him accountable, and and still make progress. I think the Party needs progress as well. Just what you were asking me earlier, how people were criticizing Andrew Yang for criticizing the Democratic Party. There's nothing wrong with criticizing the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has been rather stale. Just like you said, Biden was the safe option. That is a stale thing. Like, there are new policies, new tactics they need to employ um, that they could be much better at. The fact that we're still even this close to Trump being reelected is a bad look on Democrats. Democrats need to be better. And not just for the party, for them winning, but for the people. They need to be better. So I think accountability is very important, and it's perfectly fine to hold them accountable, hold yourself accountable, and nothing wrong with criticism.
Absolutely. And that's what it comes down to me. Rather Democrat or Republican, it's who does the job the best and how are we going to grade them on what they're doing for the country. And Biden being the safe choice, I think is okay. I mean, I think he's gonna be open minded to new ideas. He's shown he believes in science, which is a good start. But it's about like Cody said, both parties have major flaws, and I think it's gaining that trust back with people that needs to happen in our government, gaining the trust of workers. Because I think it would be off base to say everybody who voted for Trump is racist. I think there's a lot of people that voted for Trump, and I think just dismissing them all as racist idiots would be, disingenuous. It's not accurate to how people are feeling. A lot of people are just tired of politics. They don't believe that the government has their best interest, and it's up now to the Democratic Party to show them through action that, hey, you know what? No, workers, we do have your back, and we are on your side.
Yeah, I agree, and that's actually another reason why I do like Joe Biden. Joe Biden, through his history, has been known as a deal maker. He's been known to make deals with Republicans to make laws to benefit people. So I think hopefully we can make some real progress. And I do agree that not every person who voted for Trump is a racist. But on the other end of that, I think Trump did expose that there are a lot more than you know, than you just genuinely think that there might be. There are a lot more people out there who think super old fashioned and super riskier, a lot more dangerously than you think.
Absolutely. He brought that to light. And I think a lot of the time, I think he preyed on a lot of people's insecurities too. Um, he definitely, exposed a lot of prejudice in this country. And but the thing is, I know a lot of good hearted people that voted for Trump. And I don't agree with them. I told them I don't agree with them. But I can't say that this person's a bad human being because I think they've been manipulated, they've been they've been conned. They've been fed fake news. Ironically, that's what Trump likes to preach. But yeah, they bought into this fear. Trump preyed on people's fear and insecurities, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm glad to see that not win. That fear did not win.
I'm about to say something super controversial right now. You said that if someone voted for Trump, that that doesn't mean you can't be friends with them any longer, something like that. And I do agree with that, but for me personally, I feel like if you vote for Trump, like, it is such a disservice to your minority friends. It is a slap in the face to your minority friends because of what exactly he stands for to minorities all across the country. Like,
Right.
it's like saying, like, how Chick-fil-A, the old owner of Chick-fil-A, never used to come to Las Vegas because he's a hardcore conservative Christian. He doesn't agree with gambling. He doesn't agree with a lot of stuff of Las Vegas. He doesn't agree with homosexuality, stuff like that. That's like saying, that's like saying, I support you in your right to homosexuality, whatever, but I'm gonna eat at Chick-fil-A every day and kind of like rub it in your face. To me, it's kind of similar. I can't just have you like say that you're my friend or like want you around me all the time when you're like willingly with the opposition essentially. You know, like this person is so negative and is such a step back to what he represented for minorities to me personally that I can't see it that way. It is so tough for me. Like I honestly can't. And for you to not want to see it in my eyes or understand the pain and frustration and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And personally, I'm gonna go a step further. I'm not being friends with somebody that's a Trump supporter because I don't think we just have similar. I don't see us having similar views, similar things to talk about. When I'm mainly talking about people in my family and older people. You know, there's a lot of older people that voted for Trump. Younger
Mm-hmm.
people, if you're young, you have really no excuse. You're informed. A lot of older people, you know, this is a technological age. They're not caught up with the modern advances, how to get news. They're just watching maybe Fox 5 or they're seeing Trump say these comments that are, you know, I'm saying they're just not technologically sound. And that's what I'm trying to like say, like not everybody, but and I think that's who the Democratic Party should focus on. But if you're gonna if who I'm dealing with on the day to day, who I choose to deal with, if you're gonna vote for Trump, I just don't see us having anything in common to even go further and build a relationship. Because like you said, it's a slap in the you are basically agreeing with racism. We all
Right.
know he's racist. Everybody knows this man's racist.
Right, right,
Donald
right.
Trump is, you know, and when you are voting for it, and even worse, not just voting for it, supporting it, yeah, you are saying that that's not that important to you.
Yeah, I
Basically
agree with
that's not a deal breaker.
I agree with what the chat's saying right now. You know, if they vote against my rights and my minority friends and the people that I care about in something that just doesn't make sense, I can't mess with you. Like I really can't. Like deep down, I just can't. Like and then okay, a thought just popped up in my head and then they say all lives matter. Don't forget though, all lives
And
matter
all lives
up
matter.
up
I
until
got a
it's
whole song about that, bro.
oh yeah, it's tough. Um, yeah,
All lives
I
matter, but not when it's war. Or not if you black. Or not if you poor. Or not if you gay. Or not if you know what I'm saying? Like all lives matter is not true in America. It's never been true in America. Let's be honest. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about every minority, every subgroup. All lives don't matter. Because if all lives matter, let's talk about that for a sec. I'm sorry. This is just something that's passionate to me. If all lives matter, why are Hispanic families getting broken up and deported out of America? If
right,
all lives
right,
matter, why can't homosexuals get married? If all lives mattered, why does our president disparage the Muslim community? Why are black people getting shot by the police? It's just
right,
never been true in America, you know?
right. I'll take it. I'll take it another step further. You know, why do other countries like get displaced because of American trials tribulations, and they don't say all lives matter at that point? You know, like 3 4 months ago, I'm from Afghanistan, and Afghanistan, Trump made a deal with the Taliban. A lot of people don't know. Trump made a deal with the Taliban to have like a ceasefire, like a pactual agreement, and to pull troops out, which is basically just ruining the country because we have no protection, no structure, no anything, and the terrorists are just running rampant. But no one says anything. No news coverage. There's the thing in Turkey, the Turkey and Armenian like war that's going on today. Excuse my ignorance. I don't know too much about it, but I haven't seen a lick of that on the news. There's a lot of stuff. There's the Muslims in China that Trump advised the Chinese president to do it, put them in concentration camps, stuff like that, you know. And I just want to address something Mubref said in the chat. He said, "I get that, but as you guys said earlier, you don't think every person that votes for him is racist, but refusing to be friends with someone you've known forever kind of adds to the divide we already have in this country." That's a fair point, but that's me personally. I choose not to be friends. Doesn't mean we can't be acquaintances. Doesn't mean we can't be coworkers. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna wave hello to you. But that's probably all I'll do. I'll say hi and bye, and probably never talk to you unless I absolutely need to. I'm never gonna look at you differently. I'm never gonna tell you that you don't deserve greatness in life. I'm never gonna wish harm upon you, but I just can't root for you. You know, you're not rooting for everybody else. I can't root for you.
Yeah, we have basically when somebody says they're voting for Trump, and because of what Trump represents, is deeper than Democrat, Republican. I've already said this. It's basically saying you view life one way, you view it, and I view it a whole different way. Because the way I view people, the way I view life, is completely different from Donald Trump. And those who view it like him, we're not going to see eye to eye on things. So I'm not going to try to force it. I'm not saying I can't even coexist with you in the same room or in the same building. You know, I'm not going to it's just like as far as making a relationship beyond just hey, how you doing, or it's probably not going to happen. And I don't think that. I think that's okay. You know, I think that's what America is founded upon. It doesn't. We don't have to hate each other. We don't have to always love each other. We can just have respect for one another. You
Right.
respect that I think differently than you, and that's okay. Um, and I was laughing kind of with Joey, God bless, just said. I smiled a little bit. If all lives matter, then all lives. If all lives matter, then the All Lives Matter movement would never be needed to be created in protest of the Black Lives Matter movement. Absolutely true. I thought that was funny because yeah, it's just such a ridiculous thing.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't mean to shit on people. I just like to point out the little hypocrisies that there's on.
yeah, I agree. And just to reiterate, you know, we appreciate everybody in here interacting with us, being a part of us. This is something that's super important to me. You know, I've been so excited to talk about this. When Charles brought it up to me, I'm like, yes, that let's do that immediately, because this is something that's been so important to me. Politics is something that a lot of people feel like they don't have an impact on, or it doesn't impact them, but it does. It impacts like the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you see people. Um, and when you have good leadership from the top, it just trickles down. You know, so for me, it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. It's so important, and I think that's something I do want to reiterate. I know we're talking like a lot of mess right now, and because we are talking a little bit of mess right now. I just want to reiterate that moving forward, and always, we always want to push unity and push progressive like thoughts. Um, I I don't want to ever see anybody like fail, or you know, get dunked on, or anything super terrible happen to them. But just like you said, it's about respect. I do want to be respected, and I do want everybody to be respected, feel safe in their environment, and to be able to move forward with that.
All right. So what about this voter fraud thing going on? Let's talk about that. That's the big thing. Donald Trump, he both. It seems like he's going to lose. Um, he's refusing to leave the White House. Got a lot of Republicans, conservatives, saying that there's voter fraud. They're going to sue the states. And I just want to come out and say, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. That's acting like a child. You're acting like a toddler. You lost. Take the L. Go out with some dignity. Go out with some respect, and fucking shake my bad. Excuse my language. Shake the guy's hand and help him do best for America. This isn't about you. Get over yourself, and that's just how I feel about
Yeah, I agree. It is a little bit embarrassing for me, beyond what you just said, which is absolutely true. The ideology of like how he processes thoughts and how he responds to the American public is the exact reason like he grinds my gears. Like, it's one thing to think that you're being like scammed, whatever, and then it's another thing to come out on public TV in front of the whole country as you're a man of such influence and power, and to tell them that the election's being rigged and the election is being stolen, and all these allegations just thrown out with no proof. And the reason that upsets me, you can have those thoughts, but the reason that upsets me is when you display that publicly in a fashion that you feel that you think you're being cheated, and you have such loyal supporters, it leads to more division. And in this part, you know, this is why Some people think there are going to be riots. Some people think there are going to be fights. There are people showing up to unarmed protest armed. Things like that. Things just start to escalate. And these are the things that upset me. He just handles things with such low class and such like this like anger that people want to just start scrapping with each other. And I'm like, it's really sad.
It is sad, and that's not what democracy's built on. It's not. It's never been built on that.
Right.
Cody said he's just trying to get his people to defend him and get angry because they're so gullible. And I think that's 100% true. He knows he has these loyal supporters that just eat whatever he's feeding them, and they're gonna buy into voter fraud. And even if it's factually proven or not, because in some twisted way, they just find it as they're like on Twitter. You know how he tweets a lot. He was tweeting how he won the election, and then Twitter started like false flagging all of his posts. And then they said, "Oh, Twitter's against him. Everyone's against Donald Trump." And they just manipulate the logic and warp it. It's in one way it's fascinating to me, and another way it's terrifying because, like you just said, you don't know how some of these people that are really loyal supporters that are armed, that feel as if they've been election got stolen from them, how they're going to react and take that out on innocent people. It's scary, and as a leader, I think that's embarrassing, and I think it's going to ultimately hurt his legacy as well.
Yeah, it's the hypocrisy is real. It's certainly real, and it's a little goofy. Um, it's just
Very sad, Cap.
it's it's embarrassing. Um, yeah, democracy's not this way, and I appreciate that the Democrats have handled a lot of things with class, but they still need to be better too. They get bullied at times. You can't just let people bully you, and because like you said earlier, Donald Trump is really good on like counterattack tactics, accusing people, making up false narratives, stuff like that. And the Democrats don't really say anything to it. They just kind of take the beating and just like, oh, like there's a level of like don't stoop to their level, but there is a point where you have to defend yourself. And I don't think they meet the mark at all times.
And I think you're 100% right. You gotta call out ignorance, and I think they a lot of times they just dismiss it as, oh, he's just Trump, let him babble. But I don't know. Some people are taking what he's saying and believing it. So as the Democrats, you kind of have to go out and prove what he's saying is bullshit, and that's where I think they fall short
Yeah.
too.
Um, yeah. There was a lot of things that were scary to me over the face of the election. Like I knew exactly what he was going to do. I knew that he was going uh, to claim that he won prematurely, right? And
Right.
all the stuff that he said just doesn't make any sense, right? So if you know ahead of time because of COVID, all this stuff, like mail-in ballots are going to be a big thing this year because of COVID, you know? Why didn't he take extra precautions into looking into that? Which there are a lot of precautions already. Like I know, just because a lot of the stuff I've been looking at, there are precautions on fighting against fraud and stuff like that. But why wouldn't you take extra if that's something you were worried about? Don't just tell people, oh, don't vote by mail. It's a scam, whatever, blah blah blah. Even though like I think on record it shows that he votes by mail like every year, and then so like just examples of hypocrisy. And then on top of that, right, he's so shocked that a lot of the votes that are coming in by mail are for like Democrats. They're for the blue party. It's not shocking, and the reason is because you told your supporters not to vote by mail. If you told your supporters not to vote by mail and they listen to you, if 80% of them listen to you, guess what? That means most of the mail-in ballots that are coming in are going to be blue. They're going to be Democrats. So you shouldn't be surprised. Like, why are you so surprised?
And also, people are talking about, why is it taking so long to vote? Well, a lot of states pass laws that they didn't allow them to count the early votes ahead of time, so they had to wait until election day to count. So that's when a lot of people say, oh, why didn't they just count the early votes? The state laws wouldn't allow them to do that. Let's get that out of the way. So it's not like this is something we didn't know. And a lot more people voted in this election, if you couldn't tell, than in the last election. Like a lot more people voted. So of course it's going to take a little bit longer to get the results. And yeah, it's like you said with the mail-in voting, it's to be expected. I don't know if you saw this clip. Bernie Sanders predicted all of this before the election.
Oh, there's a lot of people who predicted this. Yeah, Bernie Sanders,
Yeah.
Sean King, uh, Hassan Piker. There's a lot of people who predicted these things, um, and the Republicans predicted it too. They knew what was going to happen, but there's no way of stopping it, and they're just clowns. I just can reminisce on the days like I remember you would see Obama like at press conferences and stuff, and you would just be like, "Hey, that's my boy Obama on TV. Like, let me listen in." Like, you would love the sight of seeing him on TV, making his speeches, so on and so forth. He's a great public speaker. But with Trump, I feel like it's the opposite. It's like, "Oh, somebody please take this clown off of TV. Like, please shut this guy up." And he just stoops to levels that are so like unpresidential. Like you were saying with the Twitter thing. What other presidents you know that get silenced on Twitter? That have to get fact checked on Twitter?
Yeah.
My man Donald Trump threatened to ban TikTok. He threatened to ban TikTok because he got trolled by millennials. Which, if you don't know, the millennials basically he had a rally and the millennials reserved all their spots online because you know millennials are good at internet, and they reserved all the spots online and nobody showed up, and it was hilarious. So he decided to try to take legal action and have them banned, which I guess is still in the it's still in the works at the moment. But it's just goofy, like doing things
I'm
that
glad
like
that's where
other
you're
presidents
focusing your
never would
energy.
do. Yeah,
I'm
like
glad that's where your energy's focused on TikTok, man. Get over yourself. And that's the
why are
big
you
thing. Get
worried
over
about
yourself, bro.
TikTok, bro? Like, why are you worried about TikTok? Yeah.
Nobody. Yeah, and that's why I'm glad America. It was closer than I would have liked, but at the end of the day, I'm very proud that we as a country were able to come together and get this man out of office. Cody said, and Ohio was in reverse. True. You don't hear anything about the states that he won. Why is there no talk of voter fraud in the states that he won?
You didn't see that video? I don't remember what states were which, but in one state they were saying stop the count, stop the count, like they were chanting stop the count outside of the voting like processing center, and the other state they were saying count every vote, count every vote. All like you can't have it both ways. Like we're gonna count every vote regardless, but it just shows like the level of hypocrisy. You want them to stop the count when you're quote unquote ahead, but you want them to keep counting when you're not ahead. It's like
It's funny, man. It's funny,
he's
and
gotta man up and take his L.
that's all it is. We all take L's. Everybody's taking an L. You took an L. They could go out, and I actually felt like Trump had multiple chances to step up to the plate and prove that he was a good leader and a good president. First time, COVID. He could have brought people together. He could have stepped up and helped during the pandemic. What did he first thing he did? He called it a hoax. Okay. 200,000 people died, and he dismissed it as he's doing a great job. He didn't. He came at people wearing masks, said it was, and then changed his mind and flip flopped. He never had a real plan on COVID. Gave people $1,200 to survive through a pandemic when people lost their jobs and were getting couldn't pay their rent. But that was his opportunity to step up and really make a statement. And instead, he just fed his supporters some more shit, and they ate it up. And that ultimately I think cost him the election because he could that was his chance to really gain votes. And then now this second time, you lost. Go out with a little bit of ounce of respect and over to the next guy. You want fair and square and help him and groom him to be the next president. Like Obama. Obama does not like Trump. I don't know personally, but we can assume, right? They don't get
Mm-hmm.
along.
Mm-hmm.
Obama still sat with Trump and went over a succession plan with him.
Yeah. There's a lot of goofy stuff out there. Um, yeah,
Goofy.
just his handling of COVID, stuff like that. A lot of things just have been very, very selfish in the way that he's done things. Um, you know, like I remember he said because they were talking about the second stimulus check, and they're saying, and he said, "Oh, no stimulus check until after reelection." So like, why are you holding the American people hostage? Like, there's people who actually need help, and there are people who actually like need support. And for you to be like, "Oh no, I'm not doing it until after election, whatever, blah blah," that's so selfish. Like, there's people who need a lot of help, and and just a quick point I want to make on COVID as well. I hate when people say like, "Oh, he didn't actually die from COVID. He had pre-existing injuries, and the pre-existing injury is what killed him. So he didn't actually die from COVID." That you want me to tell you why that doesn't make sense?
Tell me why that doesn't make sense.
Let me tell you. How many people do you know like cause of death when they have cancer is actually cancer? It's like zero
Yeah.
because cancer balloons the rest of your health. It leads to liver failure. It leads to, all types of different things, and they end up dying from those issues. But they're all derived from cancer. So I just can't stand when he does things like that. Like his however you want to say if it was fake or not, his fake COVID diagnosis. But to come out and say like, oh, it's not that serious. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid of it. Like, you don't know what people have been through. Sure, less than like I think 3% of people died or whatever, but it doesn't matter. The 3%, 1%, 0.01% is a lot. Imagine
Less than three
losing your
percent is a lot. That's a lot
imagine
of people.
imagine losing your loved one, or like imagine losing your best friend or the love of
And
your life. It would be
I know
trash.
people. I know people in this chat, man, that have lost people to COVID. I know people in back in New Orleans that have had COVID, and I've seen families wiped out from it. And I think to minimize it, man, is just it's disrespectful. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we all don't have top presidential medical care because once again, America healthcare goes to who has the most money. That's a whole nother topic we can get to on a different day. But yeah, bottom line is this COVID was completely mishandled, and I
And we're still
partially
getting
hold him
worse.
responsible. Yeah, it's still getting worse. Still getting worse, man.
We're laughing. We're the laughing stock of the world. We're literally the laughing
Yeah.
stock of the world. I saw something yesterday. Yeah, because yesterday we had a record high. I didn't check today. It might be a new record for today. But yesterday we had over 120,000 new cases, right? Japan had 108,000 cases total to this day.
That's embarrassing. That's pathetic.
That's almost
And
that's 8 or 9 months. Oh yeah, I mean
you know what it is?
just reacting to what Cody just said. Obama literally said there's a pandemic playbook in the Oval Office, and Trump ignored every part of it. Not only did he ignore it, he actually dismantled those programs. I've looked into this many times. Literally, Obama put in like I forget the name of the programs, but he put in programs specifically to find new viruses, to what to do if you have a virus come onto your land. And we had our own CDC center in China that he dismantled all of those things. Um, and so he had a lot of things in place beforehand, but he decided to cut the budget. But hey, build that wall, brother. Never got done. 4 years. Don't forget one of his big points: build that wall.
Right. So
Mexico's
where
gonna
was
pay
all
for it.
this? So where was all this money going? And he cut these budgets for the money to go to where? Because the national debt did not decrease; it actually increased. It just went into corporations. But um, anyway, we could dump on Trump for hours on hours.
Yeah.
What about now? What about next? What's next for people? How do we get together? How do we bring this country together?
Same thing we always say, man. Start with yourself. Support your friends. Support the people you like. Support everybody. Support who you can, and hopefully, we start moving in a direction that's more scientific. You know, I like Joe Biden. That he's backed backed by a lot of science. I know Alexandria Ocasio Cortez is in his ear a lot. He listens to a lot of her, so I like her a lot. She has really good ideas as far as new
Future
environmental
president.
stuff. Yo, for real, I would vote for her. I would have voted
I
for
would
her
vote for
definitely.
her.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
she's
I don't think
badass.
she's old enough. You know.
I know. What do you have to be like 39 or something? 39, 45, something like
Yeah.
that.
I think it's like 39.
But yeah,
But
she's dope. Yeah, we got to start listening to the science of things and move together as a people, because literally COVID is ruining a lot of people's lives, like
yeah.
mentally, physically, financially, and the fact that America has so much pride in like, oh, we have to maintain our spot of number one, to the point of not willing to do a true quarantine for the sake of their people and support them through it is terrible. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to live in the times where um, a lot of us are gonna get it, because they're just not gonna do it anymore. Like there's no chance of them closing any longer. But it's gonna be tough. We'll see.
We'll see. Um, God forbid. I hope nobody gets it. Hopefully we can find something soon. I'm not even sure if vaccine it would be the answer because but we'll have to wait and see. My thing is, I think as together, we just got to start listening more, listening to conversations like this, listening to what people in America are needing,
Hmm.
not what they want, not what you want, what you need though. And that's up to the government. What do the American people need right now?
Yeah,
And
the youth really
no,
have to step up. They really do have to step up. We can't just let old timers keep making laws for us when, like, okay, I mean this in the least disrespectful way possible, but old timers are getting old. The world is passing them by, you know? Like, the world is being literally formed for us by people who are not going to live it any longer. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the youth really has to step up and, like you said, take their part in conversations like these and make progress with themselves, really take accountability into their own hands, and make changes for their own communities and their own surroundings, which there's a lot of great people doing so. I forget her name, and I tried to remember it so bad. I remembered it like 5 seconds ago, but there was a one of the like best activists, I guess, in Georgia. She registered up to 1 million new voters this year just by herself. Like she impacted over 1 million new voters, and I was like, wow, that is some incredible stuff right there. So it's gonna be like, do things within your scope and don't be afraid to step out of it.
right, right, no, and that's where it starts. Doing what you know is right and doing the things that you want to do. Go out and start making the change in the world. And you're right. As young people, we do have that responsibility. And I think this election was encouraging because a lot more young people did, step up to the plate and make their voices heard. So that was an encouraging sign. Shout out Stacey Abrams in Georgia.
Stacey Abrams, yep, that's exactly her. Appreciate it. Yeah, filling me in. Yep, Stacey Abrams, over 1 million new voters registered. That is insane. Insane. That is amazing. You know, and there are examples of beautiful stories out there everywhere. You just have to look. you know. So we need to get back to
Yeah.
doing stuff like that, making good examples of
Spreading
ourselves.
love.
Yeah, love, and which is obviously a little bit tough right now. You can't do too much loving with all the COVID right now. It's tough,
Yeah.
especially.
No, you could still send some good energy. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
transfer
I
some
just meant
positivity.
physically. I just meant physically.
I know.
But you know, it's tough out there. But yeah, just keep doing stuff like that. In the future, yeah, keep keep your dreams alive, keep your hopes going, and keep it moving along. Um,
I love that. Well, I think we got a good conversation on Trump today. We had a
yeah,
good conversation on the election. What's coming up next?
yeah. The election moving
Yeah. So
forward. Does anybody in the chat have any questions? You're more than welcome to ask now if you guys want to ask anything, or have any other insights that you want to share. Like I said, we appreciate everybody being in here. I'm gonna link my Discord again one more time if you guys want to join. We would much appreciate it. That is where we're gonna be doing most of our stuff as far as um, where you can interact with us with video reactions, sharing new music. If you have anything interesting that you do within the community or wherever you're at, please drop it in there. We can support you. Um, we'd love to do things like that. You know, if y'all got anything, just let us know. Hey, Margo, I appreciate you showing in. Showing in. Everybody out here showing in. Cody, VGK, lots of people. Why is Ryan Chiquetti a racist? You know, if you think he's racist, it is what it is. Stuff like that happens. But he's probably not a racist. You know, maybe you'll have to have a heart to
I
heart
like
with him.
Ryan.
Maybe you'll have to have a heart to heart with him. There's a lot of people, unfortunately, who don't see things that the way a lot of other people do. Um, it's really tough. You know, I don't ever want to be someone to try to like judge someone from their shoes. You know, like without being in their shoes. It's like you don't know what somebody's going through in their day to day and stuff like that. And it's tough. You know, I've had people accuse me of stuff like that too. I've had people tell me I have white privilege. I got people telling me all kinds of stuff. It makes no sense. But um, just share the love.
Yeah, that's that. He talk. Shout out to the fantasy board in the background. I mean, how my team looking, brother? It's right here. It's the one with Marquise Brown. But yeah, like you said, man, you can't judge until you put yourself in someone's shoes. I know Cody's playing though, chatting fantasy with Ryan. He be wilding with the opinions. So
Yeah, people don't know what they don't know. The only thing you could do is share your heart, and hopefully they can get a piece of that and understand. You don't know what you
yeah,
don't know.
Hollywood Brown letting me down, bro. He let me down. I had big hopes. And low key Lamar too, man. It's a 2 quarterback league. I picked Lamar first. Thought I was getting that Lamar Hollywood stat.
um,
That's on topic, y'all.
yeah, that's
Um,
gonna do our show. Like I said, we appreciate everybody being in here. We'll probably stick around for a bit afterwards to just talk about some extra stuff. But I just want to make sure we talk about our next show. Next show is going to be on Saturday at noon. Next Saturday at noon. So we'll do that in the daytime. It seems we got a lot of people here from this Friday one. Do you think we should keep doing Fridays?
I like Friday at 6 o'clock. I think that was. I think it felt good. We had a lot of combo in here. Um, I think we should keep doing the Friday one, man.
Fridays, okay.
Feeling it.
What do you guys think in the chat? If you guys have some input, Friday at 6 or should we do Saturday at 12? Let us know.
Yeah.
So far, if we don't get enough interaction, I think we'll definitely keep Fridays. Friday at 6 seems to be getting a lot more people in here and a lot more active. So I think that's okay.
My wife said Friday.
My wife said Friday. Yeah, whatever. Well, let's go for another Friday. Let's go for another Friday. Friday
I'm,
at 6.
let's do it for Friday. GK
Um,
said Friday. Hey, is Mubraf still in here? I see if he getting on 2K. Nah. Uh,
Move, bruh.
yeah,
Yeah, not sure.
Friday 6 o'clock. Friday 6 o'clock, man. I think that's a good go. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about, man. We talked about the election; it was topical. Figured everybody had it on the brain, so trying to give you guys our thoughts on it. Um, yeah, what y'all want us to talk about? Let us know.
Yeah,
Check out our
and
previous episodes to get a feel for what we're about, and join the Discord. We'd love to hear from everyone.
we're just constantly working on new stuff for you guys too. Right now, we're working on some logos that we can get, some animations that we can get in here, so we can just keep bringing you guys better and better content every week. Um, and for us, we appreciate you guys being here to support us and interacting with us. But it wouldn't matter if there was one or none. If there was anybody, we would just make sure to do our part and share our content no matter what. We truly believe that what we're doing is going to help somebody somewhere down the line, and hopefully that person can help somebody else. You know, that trickle effect. So that's what we're here for, and hopefully you feel that.
And you
Let's
see,
It's all authentic. We don't script anything. We just talk about like this is gonna be our topic, and let's hit it. And we're like, okay, that sounds like fire. Let's do it.
yeah, if you guys want to ever get on the show, split, say what you want. Let us know. we trying to hear what you guys think as well. Um, obviously, like Adri said, we trying to do better every week. We got my video up today. Um, so bear with us. You know, I said we're growing every day. We just bring something new to the table, and appreciate everybody who's been with us since day one. BGK Monster, Rob Y, Move Brad. Shout out to Joey. God bless him here today. Oh, like I said, Drew said, appreciate everyone in here, man. It's all love,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real.
My man Charles just dropped a new music video. I just linked that in the chat right there. I'm gonna play it to end our stream here, um, just so everybody can react. But if you guys want to